So because I live in New York City, I live in Brooklyn specifically, but before this I lived in Manhattan, which is New York City proper. I have to walk everywhere, which plays a big role in, you know, if I have an injury or if I don't feel good, that can be challenging. The other thing is that there's not a lot of strongman gyms in New York, so in the past there's been times when I've had to take a train way out of the city to go train somewhere that has a specific event. I'm constantly having to go up and down subway stairs, carry all my gear with me. I don't have a trunk I can just throw it in, so heavy backpack on a lot of the time. So if my neck's bothering me a little bit right now, if I wear my backpack all day, that's another added stress on that. So it's a lot harder to get over little injuries and things, because in New York you can't really just rest when you're not training. Welcome to New York. I come see my PT every week. She is in Manhattan and I'm in Brooklyn, so we take the subway to get there. These things feel okay. Sometimes it makes us hurt, but sometimes it doesn't.
Like the same pain that you feel when it hurts, or something different?
Same thing. Only if I keep my knee really straight when I do it, then it hurts. If I bend my knee a little bit,
you can have a soft knee.
If you could stick some needles in my neck, that'd be great.
Oh yeah.
It's bothering me.
Okay.
I want some needles in my neck.
Tommy needs some needles. Let's do my hip, because honestly the neck thing I know is going to go away in a couple days. Okay. Because it always does. My upper back is so sore.
I wonder why. So she's been having this hip quad pain, I would say, for how long now?
Oh my god, too long. Like several months.
Yeah, we've worked on it before and cleared it up for a little while, but it's back now. So what I like to do is kind of feel for where her tightness is. So like that's kind of where I'm going right now. And then we're gonna feel for the joint itself and try and like mobilize it a little bit. I will also kind of find where I'm gonna needle, which the purpose of that is to release the muscle, but also to like introduce a foreign object. So it kind of creates an inflammatory response, which speeds up the healing process. And then it also upregulates the nerves,
That doesn't feel
which
nice.
gets the nerve and the muscle communicating better, which when there's an injury or pain, that signal is kind of blurry.
It's actually good for you to talk about, because people are constantly asking me what needling does for recovery.
Yeah. Well, that's what it does. It's basically like someone's stabbing you with a knife. What's going to happen? Your body's going to send all of those healing stuff to that area. So, I mean, I'm not stabbing you with a knife, but it's the same idea. We're causing an inflammatory response to get your body, a small one, to get your body to send more healing stuff.
You heard it here, kids.
That's how I would explain
Getting injured, stab yourself with a knife.
That's
Right in the injury.
That's how I would explain it in layman's terms. Relax. Yeah, so the goal here with the E-stim is, so I mean, most people are familiar with like the pads that you put on your skin. It's like they put you in PT, leave you there for 20 minutes, they come back. That actually, I mean, it helps a little bit with pain relief for like 20 minutes, but because this is attached to the needle, which goes directly into the muscle, it has more of a lasting effect. So we're really targeting the nerve here. Right here we went straight into the muscle because this was tight and we're trying to release it. Here I'm trying to go after like the sciatic nerve in particular. And then up here, when we connect them up here, we're going for the nerve roots that come out of L4, L5. And that's again to upregulate the nerve, get it firing to the muscles that it innervates. And you get a cool little
Waking up.
shaking.
Yeah, it's definitely doing more things than it was when you first started. This happens every time you put needles in my butt, though.
Oh, because it's getting the nerve to start.
You know what this reminds me of? You know those old commercials for the like ab belt that would like shock your abs and give you abs? That's what it feels like. It doesn't always feel better afterwards. Usually it feels worse for a day, and then after that it feels a lot better. But the muscle tissue feels better after. So like she'll like dig in with her fingers before, and that's when I'm like, ow. And then she does this, and then after she'll dig with her fingers again, and I'm like, all right.
And what does that do for your training?
It puts me in less pain, which makes me train harder. That's my scientific answer. Well, I mean, it's definitely about injury prevention too. Like this hip thing, if I had not addressed it, I think probably, I don't know, Chloe can attest to this if she agrees, that I would have been looking at an injured labrum at some point because my labrum's pretty angry.
Yeah, I feel like it allows you to continue training at the level that you're training at without having to take time off.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but that's from my experience.
That's true.
That's how I utilize the needles.
And just with treatment in general, the reason I work with Chloe for so long is because she is very much like, she never wants me to like take time off, really. So sometimes we've had to change things a little to like mitigate current issues. But like her answer is never don't train, right? Where like a lot of PTs like, or doctors or orthos will just tell you you have to take time off completely. And that's really like never been, like Chloe never does that. She always finds a way to keep me working, which is good.
It's just unrealistic for athletes like you guys. You can't take time off. You just have to find a way to get you to be in a place where you can train safely without having to take time off. So yeah, sometimes it does mean, you know, convincing Alec to change your training program for a week or two, but he complies.
Yeah, even with the hip thing, like we've had to modify a few. I haven't been doing as many split squats, or like really quad heavy variations. The last couple of weeks, I've just taken them off, and maybe done like quad extensions or something instead because I can't handle that. So some modifications, but I never like. The answer is never just take off training or don't squat, you know, for several weeks. So that's been good.
Yeah, because we wouldn't do that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. All right, how does it feel now?
Feels pretty good.
Yeah, so much more mobility through this pelvis. The sacrum is less of a brick wall. Look at that give. Look at that. It dissociates from the other side.
So I've never felt this in my life.
Yes.
It's really weird.
That makes me really happy. Any pain with this?
Mm-mm.
No, now that looks good too. Actually, it feels less gunky. How does it feel to you?
It does surprisingly hurt a little less. Still hurts.
Yeah. The joint line feels more open. I'll take it.
Tell them what you're doing.
Oh yeah, so I'm doing a joint mob here. So the goal is, if this is the head of the femur in the acetabulum, ball in the socket, I'm trying to just create a little bit of space in that joint. So it's pretty subtle, right? It doesn't feel like a whole lot.
Nah.
It doesn't look like I'm doing a whole lot either.
The whole table comes crashing down.
Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good. You okay?
Yeah. It feels like you have a really deep gas bubble.
What does?
You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
When you have like gas pain, it feels like that in your hip. That's what the psoas release feels like. It reminded me because, so instead of using a 10-inch log now, I'm training on a 12-inch log.
Okay.
Because that's what they're using at Worlds.
Okay.
Which I think is probably why my neck's bothering me. Because I have to like, in my dip and drive, I have to have my head like all the way back.
Wow.
To make room for the log.
Yeah, I see it in my head.
So the other thing is,
So you're really doing more of that.
Like my head is like straight back.
Okay.
Like I'm
Gotcha.
looking at the ceiling. Maybe because I think what's happening is that because the log is so much bigger, I'm like gripping it way too tight.
Yeah.
And it's wider and more out
So you're
front.
in a front rack position. Your front rack is different.
Yeah.
Would you say like instead you have to be more like wider?
So like way more out front. But I think what's happening is also I'm like gripping the handle so much tighter because it's so much bigger than I'm used to.
And so then you have to be more like this when you're dipping.
All the way back.
Oh my gosh.
Like that's what my dip looks like.
Really like this when you're dipping.
Yeah, but more up here
Okay.
and like out here.
And your neck is like this, in this position.
Yeah, basically.
To do this.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
No wonder your neck is so jacked.
Yeah, but that's like not something I can change.
I know.
I guess it's part of the sport.
But you don't always do this. And I could see how
I'll be
2
doing
more
the log
inches.
for the rest of the year.
Okay.
So.
All right, cool.
But I did hit a 190, which is a PR.
Wow. Wow.
Chloe, I'm just gonna bring you with us to Worlds.
Ooh yeah. Ooh yeah to the jump and ooh yeah to that.
Ooh yeah to all of us. Oh jeez.
There she is.
This is fucking crazy, right?
Are you just digging around with a needle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, that's so much nicer.
It does feel nicer now.
Look at that. Beautiful. All right, let's see what that does for you.
Okay.
I would add in, so like after you do Hesh, I would add in the set of the bird dogs.
Bird dogs?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And are you still doing, you know, the suboccipital release over the foam roller? Remember that one?
No, I do remember it, but I haven't.
I would add that back in as well.
Okay.
Because your suboccipitals are gremlins.
Got it.
So that'll help with the neck. We didn't get a chance to look at the elbows, but we can do that next time.
I'll come back next week.
Yeah.
Gonna have the same time. Same time.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're gonna
See you next week. Thursday at 1.
Perfect. I like the way that the hip joint itself is feeling though.
Okay.
That's definitely feeling more mobile, and your pelvis, I love it. I'm so happy with what just happened there today.
All right.
So that's a good thing.
Okay.
Pay attention to when you feel the pain.
In my hip.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it's different when you feel it in your knee and in your hamstring.
So I've been going to PT pretty regularly over the last, I would say, 2 years since I got more competitive in strongman, just because, you know, when you compete in this sport, you get a lot of little aches, pains, nicks, things like that. And if you don't take care of them and you keep training through them, odds are they could turn into something bigger. A lot of it is like mostly preventative care. Like, it's just part of my recovery program. So there's never a week where I don't have a single thing that doesn't feel good. Especially because of my injury history. That's another one of the reasons I see Chloe so often, because when I first started seeing her, it was actually because I was still recovering from a broken ankle and a surgery on my ankle. And I just kept going because there's kind of always something that doesn't feel great. So she just keeps me feeling as good as possible, as often as possible.